Hey guys, my name is Haley and today I'm going to be filming my TBR for the 7in7 Readathon, and I'm also going to be combining it with the Wizarding Readathon that is going on with Yesy from the Book Vagrant, and I'm going to be combining those two to get a head start on the Harry Potter readathon. The 7in7 Readathon was created by Dana from the Book Quarter and Ashley from Said the Story. They have a couple of other hosts as well that are hosting Twitter sprints on Twitter, so I will link that Twitter and all of the information down below. So let's get started on my TBR. So the first book that was on my TBR, because I knew I was getting it as soon as it came out, is Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I have already read this. I went to a midnight release party and got it at midnight. Went to my friend's house. We both read it and finished it at about 3 or 4 a.m. and got no sleep. But it was so worth it because I loved this. And conveniently it happened after midnight. So I had read it after the readathon started at midnight. So there's one down already, and I will be talking about this at a later date. And then since the Harry Potter read-along has been going on, or is going to start, I think it started on the 31st, over on Yesy's channel, I decided to start my Harry Potter reread early on in the month, so I don't have to worry about rereads as much later on in the month, because there's a couple more like bigger fantasy books I want to get to. So I started Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone yesterday. This is probably... Oh, I've read these books, the first 5 books, I know for sure I've read over 10 times each, because as a kid all I used to do was reread Harry Potter. But I'm about a little over 100 pages into this, so I'm about halfway through, and I'm loving it, of course. Then I want to also get to Chamber of Secrets this week, because these two I know I get through really fast, having read them so many times, so that's another one on my TBR. Next up I have Tears of a Tiger by Sharon M. Draper. This was a book that I read, I want to say in middle school, and there's a particular scene in this book that I remember so clearly, and it's a car crash, and it was so like gruesome that it's like ingrained in my brain and I still remember it, and I remember really loving this book, so I found it at a thrift store. It's a library copy. It's really short. It's not even 200 pages, so definitely applies to this readathon to get through 7 things in 7 days. Next up, I have a bind-up of the Shiloh collection, which is Shiloh, Shiloh Season, and Saving Shiloh. Fun fact about me, as a kid I was obsessed with like animal movies, especially dog movies, because I was an animal lover, obsessor as when I was little. And Shiloh is actually one of my favorite movies of all time. So I believe I've read one of these books before. I believe it's a trilogy. There might be more. But this has the first 3 in the trilogy on it. And I found this at a thrift store a couple months ago. It's just been sitting on my shelf, so I figured I should get to it. I'm pretty sure they're children's books, so they're really short and easy to get through. This isn't even 200 pages, I don't think. It's like 130 pages, so that'll be quick to get through and would technically count as 3 things. So, yeah. And then last on my TBR, How Not to Fall in Love by Lisa Brown Roberts. I love this cover. I started this book on Saturday because I kept doing this thing where I was picking up a book and then reading like 30 pages of it and then putting it down and then picking up another book and starting that one, which I never do. And I think it's because I'm getting a little burnt out from readathons, but this is such a relaxed one that I think I can handle it. And I got a little bit past the 30-page point in this book and was actually enjoying it because it's a contemporary, and I know that as soon as summer is over, I'm not going to want to read contemporaries and they're just going to sit on my shelf for the next year until next summer. So, yeah, I want to finish this off. That's all that I have planned for this week. I might get to another book or so. I might even read the 3rd Harry Potter book because that's one of my favorites, and I'll probably want to read it immediately after finishing Chamber of Secrets, so yeah. But yeah, that's my plans for this week. I will leave all the information down below for the 7in7 Readathon and Yesy's Wizarding Readalong, and I will see you guys next time.